Hello, VC. Yes, I'm back with another vinyl Wodge. I know you couldn't wait for it. I know you were waiting with bated breath. Um, yeah. Now you'll have to excuse me. Currently in the throes of recovering from a cold, so my voice is not quite as melodious as it usually is, more nasal. And at any point, I might start coughing. So please do excuse me. And I'll try and get it back under control. Right, and on that note, we got a little vinyl Wodge. Now, this was a Wodge that I got all in one day. I'd been out to a town near Exeter called Tiverton, and they have several charity shops there, and I go there every so often just to find out what's going on, what there is. Sometimes they strike lucky, sometimes they strike out completely. But I put together a nice little haul, and then on my way back, I stopped off at one of my favourite haunts in Exeter, just on the way back, and picked up a few more. So, first off, I've got a couple of 12 inches first, from sort of the era 89, 90. I'll start with this one. So, this is an Irish band called An Emotional Fish, and this was their biggest song called Celebrate. I actually do have this on 7-inch. But I saw this and I thought, right, I'm having that for £1. Originally they were signed to U2's mother label over in Ireland, and then they were taken on by East West over, well, I guess internationally, don't know. Celebrate it's a really good rocking track. I mean, you'll see, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about this kind of band that were around then. After the next 12 inch, I've got another 12 inch to show. Really cracking track. The B-sides are okay. Kind of more rocky, bit rocky. But I love this song. I come back to this time and time again, and really glad I got a 12 inch copy now. A little bit of damage on the sleeve, but it's okay. And then I also picked up, in the same shop, this one, which is The Rattler by Goodbye Mr. Mackenzie. This band are best known now as containing one Shirley Manson, who sang backing vocals and played keyboards in this band. Of course, later picked out by Butch Vig to front Garbage. This is an alright. I never really rated Goodbye Mr. Mackenzie back in the day. I do remember them being around, and I thought, yeah. But what I wanted to say about like Emotional Fish, Goodbye Mr. Mackenzie, there were loads of these type of bands around sort of the turn of the 80s into the 90s. Not really indie, kind of a poppy rock sort of stuff, kind of bordering on indie. Record companies had already got their hands into them. They didn't have a firm belief in what they were doing, and they seemed to have been manipulated. There were loads of these bands. Thrashing Doves was another one. Immaculate Fools, I think, was another one. Silencers, I think they were around at about the same time, maybe a bit earlier. They were another one. There were just shed loads of these bands. They didn't seem to sell very much. They all seemed to get 1 or 2 singles in the top 50 of the UK chart, and then just sort of fail. I mean, this is a fun enough track, and I actually do remember it. On the B side is a really good track called Here Comes Deacon Brodie, and it's much more rocky, and it's more of a duet. It features Shirley Manson much more, and I rate that song. It's really good. What else is on here? Side B, and then there's a pretty poor third track called Carlton Hill, but I'm glad I picked this up because I don't have any other Goodbye Mr. Mackenzie. The Rattlers are good. Yeah, it's a good enough song, but I'm going to definitely play Deacon Brodie again. Good track. Right. Then, I'm going to put those afterwards and do these two. What I love about going record shopping in charity shops in these little towns like, I don't know, like Tiverton, like Crediton, like Exmouth, like all around. There's loads of little towns around Exeter, and you turn up some of the most bizarre stuff. Like it's really non-mainstream, or pretty non-mainstream, and then B, what the heck is it doing in a charity shop? And this one just floored me when I saw this. It was a fiver, and I thought, right, I'm having that. It's Candlemas's third album, Ancient Dreams. Candlemas were a Swedish, one of the earliest actually to be labelled as such, but they're a Swedish doom metal band. They were definitely one of Sabbath's children. They were so much Ozzy and stuff, and Tony and Geezer and Bill on here. It's just incredible. But it's a really good record, actually. Really like this record. Released on, well, over here on Metal Blade. I think this is an English copy. Or a British copy. Might even be American, I'm not entirely sure. Comes with an insert with the lyrics. There's the insert. There's your lyrics. Typical doom-laden, pretty standard, really. Manufactured. Oh, it's an American copy. Okay, because it's manufactured in the States. So there we go. Metal Blade. This is top notch. Absolutely top notch. There's a band members. Typical metal band look. Gorgeous cover. Fantastic music. Absolutely loved this. And to pick it up for a fiver in Tiverton was just made my day, to be honest. Absolutely fantastic. And then going complete opposite direction, I saw this. This was, how much was this? £4. £4, yeah. Managed to pick up another Donovan album, which I was well chuffed about. This one is Cosmic Wheels, and it's in really lovely condition, apart from there's a bit of damage there, and it's a bit flat. It's flattened out, which I guess is just... But it's an absolutely lovely cover. You've got, I think there's a note on here. Get out your cosmic crayons, kids, and colour in. Obviously a reference to one, if you're on a trip, a lot of people tend to do a lot of colouring. That's what drugs lead to, colouring. Lovely inner. It's got I think it's got everything with it. So you get a circular poster of the man himself. There he is, looking stunning, with the lyrics on the other side. Let's get that back the right way. Is that the right way? Yes. Designed to fit into the sleeve. It's got a lovely inner sleeve. More of the same sort of thing. More colouring to be done. Thankfully nobody did it. And then you've got there's a label on Epic. There we go, there's the Epic label. This album it's not typical Donovan. He has been listening to T-Rex. There's so much of it is quite hard rocking, actually. A lot of it is T-Rex. There's a few like more acousticy stuff tracks on here. You know, it's typical Donovan, what you'd expect from Donovan. But I really loved it. I thought he actually got that sound down pretty well. If you read online reviews of this, they say, bleh. It's only the last few acoustic stuff that acoustic tracks that make this album worthwhile. I say this stands alone on its own. It's great. Apart from one track, which is just one of the most bizarre songs I've ever heard. It's called The Intergalactic Laxative, and it's basically about astronauts pooing themselves. I mean, if you want a bizarre listen, go on, find it on YouTube. It's on there, and it is bizarre. Absolutely, don't know what he was thinking of putting it on here. It's crap, literally, about crap, and it's crap. But apart from that, I think this is a worthwhile album, worthwhile listen, really good. A lot of T-Rex, a lot of acoustic, bit of acoustic. It's great. Right, and then on my way back, I stopped in at one of my favourite places where they seems all the hospice care shops dump all their stuff they can't sell into one place, and you get two for £1. So these cost 50p. I think I picked up some CDs as well, which is why I've got an odd number of records here. CDs will come in another CD roundup, but these are kind of... Oh, I listen to all of these, and I defend all of them. This first one of this batch seems to be a charity shop staple in this country, and I finally picked up a copy of Bridge of Spies by Tapao. Now, were they well known in the States? I don't know, but I really got this for the song Heart and Soul, which I think I actually really, really like. It's got a kind of more of a finesse rather than the bombast of the rest, like China in Your Hand. Knows in the UK knows that song. Valentine. I mean, they're kind of bombastic, sort of soft rock sort of stuff. A lot of it would be well at home on one of those soft rock compilations from the 90s. Excuse me, my voice is starting to pack up already. Oh, there we go. But for 50p, to have a copy of Heart and Soul, which I'm very happy about, on Siren. Is this? I thought that was just US. Oh, I don't know. I presume this is a British person. Never really warmed to Carol Decker much. Thought she just seemed a bit... But, yeah, 50p can't go wrong. This one I love listening to. I've got another album another greatest hits by this guy. And the guy is Duane Eddy. I got another one, and it was all re-recorded stuff, which I'll keep because it's kind of okay. But this is all original stuff. Only 10 tracks on here. It's an RCA record, but it's manufactured by RCA for Pickwick International, so it really is a Pickwick record. Got some great tracks on here. Got a blue RCA Camden label. But you got things like Rebel Rousers on here, which is a classic sort of pre-Beatles track. And here we go. Oh, for Pete's sake. Right, okay. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to put it back later. Yes. So we got Fireball Mail. Ballad of Paladin is a good track. Boss Guitar, Deep in the Heart, Texas, Your Baby's Gone Surfing. Dance with That Guitar Man. I mean, it's great stuff. It's really great stuff. Really enjoyed listening to that. A couple of totally early 80s, totally just sum up the time, really. That time. Not the electronic pop that I tend to go for, but more kind of more adult soul, not really R&B, kind of soft soul. First one is Dionne Warwick's Heartbreaker. What I didn't realise about this album is it's basically a Bee Gees album written for her. I never realised that. Apart from the final track, which is a cover, the rest of the album was basically written by Barry Gibb, and there was actually an album released of all his demo versions, so that would be quite interesting to listen to. I've got into the Bee Gees more and more as I've got older. I mean, I would have dismissed them completely when I was a youth, but I can appreciate their songwriting, and some of the songs on here are really good. I mean, she's got a lovely voice. I'm not sure about her hairstyle there. It looks a bit tight to me, but never a fan of tight bubble perms. But it's a good record. Heartbreakers on it. All the Love in the World. Yeah, it's schmaltzy and sentimental, but the performances are good, and I really enjoyed it. So there we go. Another one, now that was a massive seller, I think in 82, maybe, 81, 82. Another massive seller in the UK was this one. This is Randy Crawford, and this is Secret Combination. This was a massive hit in the UK. Really got to pick this up for this track, You Might Need Somebody, which is it's got a great, I mean, her voice on this is just the star of the show. She's got an absolute gorgeous voice. Some of the songs are not the greatest, but to be honest, she does a great version of Rainy Night in Georgia. I mean, to be honest, I would just listen to this for her singing, because I love the sound of her voice. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. What's it on? Oh yeah, it's lyric insert on Warner Brothers, just a stock Warner Brothers label. I don't want to shine that too much. Pleasantly surprised by this, which I always love, paying 50p for a record and liking at least a few tracks on it and loving her voice. Right, the last one is something completely different. I've developing a bit of a taste for early 20th century difficult classical music, and I've only played one side of this. I've got to play the other side actually, but I've developed a taste for Prokofiev. So this is Shostakovich side I haven't played. I really should do. But this is a Scythian suite by Prokofiev on the on side 2. And this was originally conceived as a ballet. But it was, for some reason, it didn't take place. And I think the Scythian Suite is a fantastic piece of music, absolutely amazing stuff. I think, I don't know, it seems to me as though one of my favourite sci-fi film soundtracks is the soundtrack for Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan. And to me, it sounds like somewhere in the background there's the Scythian Suite lurking, because I think that could soundtrack that film. Just seems to me the same sort of rhythms and sounds on it. This is a mono copy. I'm really looking out for a stereo copy still, but this will do for now, and it sounds glorious turned right up. One way to annoy my neighbours by playing difficult early 20th century orchestral works. Haha. They never know what to expect from me. Right. So there we go. Prokofiev, just to round off yet another really eclectic mix. I mean, we've gone from Prokofiev via Randy Crawford and Dionne Warwick all the way round to Candlemas. And back to this. Right. Splendid. Yet another brilliant batch of records. Loved every one of them. So, I've still got a major wodge of things to show. And I keep buying stuff and I can't stop. So, you'll see me again soon. I actually might make another video today. I've got 2 ideas for more videos. Hang on. And I think I might do one in a minute after I've uploaded this. So, well, thanks for joining me on that, and I hope you found something worth your while. And I hope to see you all again soon. Cheers, VC. See you later. Bye.